Tesla cut prices on some of its Model Y and Model 3 vehicles in the United States yesterday. Those cuts range from $2,000 to $3,000. We'll learn more about how this year's price cuts have impacted the bottom line because Tesla is due to report quarterly results after today's closing bell. Tesla is, of course, reporting those results after the close, and for a preview of what to expect, we want to bring in Garrett Nelson. He's the vice president and senior equity analyst at CFRA Research. And Garrett, you've got a strong buy on Tesla. What do you anticipate hearing today? What do you hope to hear from the company?
Sure. Thanks for having me. Tesla has a tremendous track record recently in terms of earnings execution. They've beat now in 13 of the last 14 quarters on the bottom line. And so I know, the price cut announcements have given a lot of investors anxiety, but we think really the net impact of that is that EPS growth from last year to this year is going to be sort of flattish. They earned $4.07 last year. I think you're coming in this year. I think you're going to end up seeing earnings sort of flattish with that number. But I think what we're looking for is that the long-term story remains intact. Looking out to next year, we're looking at 38% EPS growth year over year. We know they're about to start producing the Cybertruck. They're about to break ground on a new factory in Monterrey, Mexico, and they're still ramping up the new factories that opened last year in Austin and Berlin. And so really, everyone's looking for, or the bulls at least, are looking for that the long-term story remains intact.
Garrett, Elon Musk himself has talked pretty recently about what a difference it makes when you can lower the price point, that the demand is always there. It's just whether or not people can actually pay the price. And there was a story yesterday in New Jersey that they're actually ending their electric vehicle rebate program because the demand has just been too high. They're running out of money. There's been so much demand for it. If you start to see states that are no longer funding this because they just don't have the money they had before, if you see the federal programs run into snags along the way, what does that do for electric vehicle demand overall? What does that mean the manufacturers then have to do to lure in the buyers?
Yeah, so we think this most recent price cut announcement they just announced is really a response to the Treasury Department's updated guidelines regarding battery sourcing for EVs. And so Tesla responded by, the net impact is that the federal EV tax credit was cut in half for certain versions of the Model 3 and Model Y. And so Tesla responded, by lowering prices on those versions by, somewhat equal amount. And so, at the end of the day, EVs are still a very small percentage of the overall U.S. new vehicle market. Last year, about 6% of all new vehicle sales were EVs. And so we think, there's a lot of new models coming to market, and we're very skeptical in terms of, the sales prospects for many of these models. For Tesla, we are not. There's a lot of visibility in terms of their Cybertruck reservation count. The Model 3 and Model Y remain the best-selling EVs in the U.S. by a wide margin, and we're bullish longer term on the earnings growth for Tesla.
What are the numbers you're going to watch most closely after the bell if someone's trying to do a quick read-through, try and figure out if this is good or bad for the stock?
Yeah, I think everyone's really focused on the gross margin line. Tesla maintains that they can post a 20% plus gross margin. So I think everyone is focused on that. They're going to be really looking at the impact that the price cuts are having on the gross margin line, but also their guidance. They introduced 2023 volume guidance of 1.8 million units. That was up from about 1.3 million that they shipped last year. So any changes to that volume guidance, but we think they're probably going to maintain it, and also there's room for some upside to that number.
All right, Garrett, thank you. We'll be watching. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.